and I still don't have a great plan. So I was thinking more like, it seems like the monsters sort of play to their strengths. Like they're like, I'm good at buses, or I like making noises. So that's my plan.
Do you think that's what it was with that monster? She's just, who's good at buses? Or like, what's your special talent? I'm really good at buses.
You know, this is the only monster we've never seen her like do anything in particular, like what her powers were. Maybe she could fly buses. Like no one else seemed to do that. But like,
or maybe she just had a really good outfit for it, and they were like, oh, that would be perfect.
I mean, someone walked up to her and was, anyone ever told you look like a sexy but evil bus driver? And she's like,
oh, that gives me an idea.
Yeah, but you know, some of them are like, I'm a bat, I make noises, so my evil plan is going to be about noises. Like, yeah, I don't know bus driver. She's like, I'm a bus driver. That's like her. Maybe that's where she picks up money, because I don't think the Megaverse pays. Maybe she just is a bus driver.
Yeah, welcome to Sailor Moon Therapy Hour. I am Audrey.
And I'm Alison, and we are not therapists.
Correct.
We just watch anime.
Exactly. And speaking of anime, we watch Sailor Moon. Surprise!
Every week we watch a new episode. We are watching both the new or up-to-date sub and the classic old Deke dub, which is the highest quality.
Yes, and the best of character voice choices. This week I watched the dub. It's for the dub it's episode 7, and it's called An Uncharmed Life.
And for the sub it's episode 9, because we get extra episodes over here. And it's The Cursed Bus, Enter Mars, the Guardian of Fire.
Yeah, which makes more sense.
I was very excited to meet Mars, the third of our sailor trio, and Ray, and partly because I remember not liking her very much.
Same.
I remember her being kind of aggressive and maybe mean and just a little off-putting. And I'm curious, as we rewatch, if that was just the dub or in both. And also sometimes just in the same way that it did with Serena Usagi is, will I just feel differently about her as an adult?
Yeah. Yeah, because I love Serena now in a way. Like I do too. I did not really like her, I think, originally.
We've said that childish kind of thing did not resonate with me as a child, but as an adult, I'm like, oh yeah, big move.
Yeah. So I'm going to real quick give a short summary of what I think happened. Is that how we were doing it?
Yeah, it was just a couple sentences. What was the theme of the episode? And then we'll run back through.
Yeah, so obviously the original subtitle makes way more sense because this one, Jedi's big plan, and this one is to steal buses, I guess, full of young teenage girls, which sounds way worse than it was.
It really does sound bad. Yeah. Oh no, Jedi. I think my brother commented, he's like, they're just going real, like, straight to the point on this one.
Yeah,
like, normally there's this convoluted plan to get energy, and this one it's like, let's just steal a bunch of people.
Yeah, I mean, there is, like, a plan about selling charms for really cheap, again.
Yeah, it is somehow still convoluted, and at the same time, the execution is very straightforward. There's just extra details that don't seem relevant.
Yeah, and I guess they're trying to steal the energy from young love or wishes. I don't know, but he does.
We can compare when we get in there. So they're stealing buses,
and it's specifically this bus that's right outside the shrine where we meet Ray, and of course our main characters Serena and Amy, or Usagi and Ami. They decide to go, I guess, with their friends, and then of course not researching or exploring these missing bus problems or the very cheap charms, which are big red flags in this universe.
So this is already different.
Yeah, so they go, they want to get charms, and then another bus disappears. Serena doesn't want to get on the bus, but eventually Luna makes her get on the bus, and they get sucked into this black hole.
This is a wild summary.
Yeah, and then Ray also gets sucked into a black hole because she has like magic
psychic
senses.
Powers.
Yeah. And so she confronts Jed. She's like, you know what? All this weird stuff has been happening ever since Jed got here.
Subtle.
Because he's like randomly a janitor there. So she confronts him and he throws her, he opens up a black hole, throws her into it. So now we've got a monster bus driver, Serena and Ray. They transform. Sailor Mars, obviously, for the first time, they defeat the baddie, and then Jedi nowhere to be found. And then the black hole starts closing. Luckily,
don't spoil the ending. We gotta save that for the ending.
Oh, okay.
Because that was wild.
The black hole starts closing, and then I'll just stop talking.
And they all go home somehow.
Yeah.
That's my favorite moment that we've ever had.
Really?
Yeah.
Because it wasn't super... There was so much else weird about this episode that was just kind of a blip. And then we got Sailor Says, which we'll get to.
That was your favorite moment.
Yeah. Well, one of them.
So I want to say, before we start kind of trying to piece this apart, that one of the things I was very curious about watching this episode, and even trying to remember this episode, was how they were going to handle the intensely Japanese culture of the shrine and the charms and all of the Rei with her magic powers. I don't really remember how they handled it. I think they kind of just went with it, but I feel like there were so many extra things when I was watching this sub that I feel like they must have like glossed over, because there was a lot of stuff that I feel like would have bothered the American, like, no magic-y, religion-y stuff.
Yes. Yeah. So, and definitely... So the way that they handled it is they just didn't, and I'm pretty sure they cut as much as they could out, because a lot of stuff just didn't make sense. And
yeah,
I had
because I was like, oh, there's a lot of little cultural details in here, and I was like, were those in the...
There were some, like, they're at a shrine, they've got their outfits, the grandpa, who is giving me big Aang energy, he gives, like, I mean, he's got his, like, they've got that stick, and he does a dance. The charms themselves have Japanese written on them. Rey, at one point, she senses the bad vibes and thinks it's coming from Serena, I guess, and so she's got this big piece of paper that she just, like, puts on the forehead of her. So, and I guess it knocks her out. Oh, no.
There were some weird... I think you may have... I'm wondering if they cut something there. Just FYI. Yeah. So first of all, did you start underground? Because I feel like we always have to start underground with Queen Beryl, and I would like to comment that literally this woman's entire existence is doing hand motions over a crystal ball. Like, I've never seen her not doing that. Do you think her arms are tired? How strong are her arms? Does she have, like, strong arms?
She's got some Michelle Obama arms for sure.
Okay. And, like, what do you think would happen if she stopped using that crystal ball? Like, would she die?
I think it's like the button in Lost, where if they don't press the button, it all explodes or something, or she thinks it will.
They have to keep, And I also wanted to ask, because, again, I feel like I keep either missing details because I'm going back and forth between the dub and the sub, or they keep adding details, or I keep forgetting details. Because this time she was like, Jedi, we have to hurry and find the legendary silver crystal before the sailor people find it, and you keep messing it up, and I'm gonna give you one more chance. Go find it and go collect more energy. And I was like, that's not finding it. And what, have we ever mentioned this before?
No, thank you. I'm so glad that you called that out, because I was curious, because I've never once heard that mentioned. I literally my very second note is silver Imperium crystal. Like, with just question marks.
Right?
First we've heard of it.
I'm glad, because I was like, have they ever... And I love that she's like, you've already fucked this up a bunch. And she's like, I'm going to give you one more chance. And then she just tells him to do the thing that he's been doing, which isn't find the crystal. So it's very confusing. I was like...
Yeah, it's just another example of Negacorp, the Negaverse Corporation, just constantly moving goalposts.
Yeah, I think so. I think this is like... Jedi doesn't know what his job description is. Like, she says find the crystal, but she tells him to go gather energy.
Right.
What's he supposed to do?
I mean, and when
like,
he's at happy hour...
you gotta find it before the sailors do. I don't think the sailors even know about it. They're not gonna find it.
They don't know about it.
We don't even know what it is. Luna might know about it. Luna knows weird things.
I mean, and she gets them from a computer.
Yeah, maybe the computer is going to at some
Yeah.
point be like, Luna, you were supposed to be looking for this silver crystal. I've told you like 3 times. And Luna's like, what?
Yeah. Or she'll be like, I know. And we're like, what? Oh, man. Do you think at work happy hour, Jedi and like Nephrite or whoever are just complaining about how shitty of a boss Beryl is?
I think that probably they do things to make it harder for her to wiggle her hands over the crystal ball. I don't know what, but they'd like try to fake her out.
I think they give her
Like hand her coffees.
Yeah.
So that she'll read, oh no!
Oh no, what do I do with the one hand? Or they give her jewelry that they've sneakily added extra weight onto. Yeah, and it's like happy Christmas or something.
I was thinking you like hand her some paperwork and then you try to hand her some more paperwork so she'll take it with the other hands. Like,
yeah. Yes. So, okay. So we start there. Also, is this not the first time that we've seen that they live in a skull or work in a skull?
Oh, I was gonna say, I don't think we've ever seen this skull before, but there's like a zoom in on like a giant skull that they're inside, and I was like, cool, some more scenery.
Yeah, quick tip on how to find out if you're the bad guy or not. Is your office in a giant skull?
Yeah.
Okay, so she wants to get rid of that pest, Sailor Moon, and her other sailor friend. So it sounds like that's the same. For me, we cut to Serena and Amy on the street, and they find out about this bus has vanished into thin air at the sacred temple, and it's not the first time either.
Yeah. By the way, did you get a really cute little bonding moment with Ami? Like, it was so cute. Like, she hugs Luna, and they're talking about, like, oh, she has to take the bus to cram school, and Serena's like, you go that far to cram school? And she's like, I gotta learn everything I can so I can help Luna find the Moon Princess. Aww. And I was like, oh my god. And Serena's just like, oh. But it was so cute.
Yeah, they cut out the Moon Princess stuff. They had it as, first of all, this is point 1 in Luna's a bitch. So Amy talks about she's got to take the, I don't even know that she's talking about taking the bus. She's talking about extra credit essays and stuff. And Serena's like, what? Or like, I've got to do, she doesn't want to go to the sacred temple. She's got too much homework. And Serena's like, what? What do you mean, like, homework? And then Luna, like, side-eyes her and goes, don't you have homework to do? Like, in her voice.
Okay, ding. They always do that.
Yeah. What did Luna say in that moment? Because she kind of gives her, like, this, like, little look, like she's being hugged by Amy and just kind of, like, looks at...
I mean, they were sort of bantering back and forth, and, like, Serena was having her moments of, like, oh my god, Amy's so good at, like, studying and stuff, but I don't feel like anyone was mean about it.
Yeah.
Didn't have that vibe. Although, again, all of their little banter, it just has nicer vibes when Luna's not an old lady.
Yeah. Well, and then Amy also gave her some shade, I think.
I think there was a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Can I say, by the way, that I'm such an American that I knew this episode was about buses, and I just assumed it was school buses. And then I was like, oh my god, public transportation exists.
Oh, yeah. Well, it does, but it's not very good here, at least not in Texas.
Yeah, I mean, there are places where people would be like, obviously the city bus. But I was like blown away when I realized they were waiting for a city bus. I was like, oh, right.
Oh, yeah. In some places, that stuff's good. So Brooklyn, Molly runs up. She's the one who talks about the bus vanishing into thin air. And
twice.
Yeah. And I'm just like, wait, how have y'all not heard about the first time? That's like
they were like, the police are investigating. They think it's a kidnapping. I'm like, yeah, 50 people went missing. Oh my god.
Twice! We're just now hearing about it.
Also, why are people still getting on the bus? Like,
thank you. Why is this not like front page news? And then why also, because they're literally talking about the one right outside the sacred temple is disappearing. It's happened twice. But they're selling some super cheap good luck charms. Let's go get some.
Well, they do it slightly different in the sub, but it's still kind of dumb when you think about it. But they go, oh my god, buses keep vanishing. That's scary. And then they're like, oh, I'm scared about the bus. And then they go, there is a shrine along the route, and they sell protective amulets. And I hear their shrine maiden's super powerful. We should go get some protective amulets.
That makes way more sense.
It does, except that the bus is literally disappearing right after it leaves the shrine. So I feel like maybe the protective amulets aren't your best bet at that point.
Yeah.
But at least the setup made a little more sense. So they all decided to go to the shrine specifically to get a protective amulet.
Yeah.
And I think maybe they cut some of that because, like, they were like, the Shrine Maiden can predict the future. She's super powerful. Like, all this magic stuff, I feel like they probably toned down.
Oh,
I could
yeah.
be wrong.
They didn't mention any of that at all. So they're just talking about going to buy
Did they say the amulets did anything?
Just that they were good luck charms. And
I think, good luck charm sounds nicer than a magic protecting spell.
Yeah.
Like, but Ami can't come because she has to go to school. So they go without her.
Yeah, but then weirdly, Ami is with them. Like when.
Oh, yeah, I think you're right. She was with them.
Yeah.
That's weird. Okay, whatever.
I guess she decides to go anyway.
We get a bunch of stuff in the shrine. Like, we have girls lining up and they're ringing a bell to, like, earn love or for fortune for love.
Yeah, that was cut.
There was, like, the old dude. You said this part. The old dude comes over with, like, I don't know Japanese stuff.
Paper.
A paper thing that he waves around to give them luck or something. He's like, you want to come to the store and buy some amulets? You want to do this? Actually, I will say, the old dude showed up, and I immediately was braced. I was cringing. I was waiting for it to be the creepy pervert old dude that purrs on these girls. And he even seemed, he was excited to see them. He's doing this whole thing. And then I don't think he ever really was. Like, he was super nice. He seemed to be trying to sell things. And then the creepiest thing he did was say, like, you guys want to work here as Shrine Maidens. But later we find out he just asks everybody to work here. Like, that's how Jedi got the job, is he was just like, hey, you want to work here? And
that
Ray's like,
explains a lot.
he's just so friendly to everyone.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I think it's honestly, like, if it is a little, like, I think it is still intended to be the kind of flirtatious older dude, but it's, like, the most, like, charming, like, harmless version of that I've ever seen in an anime.
I'm glad that you say that, because I was going to ask, because obviously so much stuff was cut from this dub. Like, he's not asking anybody for jobs or anything.
I was waiting for him to try to look up their skirts.
Yeah, I was waiting for him to, like, grope them. There's even, like, I don't know if they take a picture or, like, the girls who are just, like, non-player characters or whatever.
Yeah.
They've got to go and catch their bus. And the way that he's waving, he kind of, like, closes and opens his hand. And I was like, oh, is he trying to do something there? Yeah.
I was so braced for it, and then I was like, and then even like at some point Ray's like, stop flirting with those girls, and I was like, maybe that's it, and it was like, no, it seemed like he's just like this with everybody, and I was like, oh, okay.
And it makes way more sense that he does just ask everybody to work there because they need work. I know that. And then, but they don't explain how Jedi got the job. He's just like randomly a janitor or something there.
Apparently the guy just was like, hey, you want to work here? He just like hands out jobs.
Yeah.
I like the idea that he's just super enthusiastic about his shrine, and he's super enthusiastic about people, and he is a little more enthusiastic about girls, I think, but you know, like it was fine.
Yeah, well, girls buy more stuff than boys do, so.
Meanwhile, yeah.
Oh, yes.
We do see Jadeite ominously sweeping, which I really appreciated, because I love that he's like, ha 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 ha, I'm sweeping.
Yes. And then I do have a note about, and this is something I noticed with her meeting Amy as well, because now I've watched the introductions to Sailor Mercury and Sailor Mars as dubs only now, and Serena blushes in a way every time she's like, she thinks each of them is so cool, but especially with Ray, like in a way that I'm like, you gotta crush
bisexual.
on that.
Well, I will say that Ray is introduced as like phenomenally cool. Like she's, I would just say she's doing all this. She's having these visions. She's like thoughtful. She's got, I forgot this. She has pet ravens named Phobos and Deimos, which are the moons of Mars. And they're helping her out. She's got like powers. She's like sensing ominous presences, which is clearly Jadeite, but she hasn't figured out. She's like, why are my powers struggling recently? Like, she's also, in addition to be cool, she's like high key drama right now. I was like, maybe take it down a notch. She is like in a different anime right now.
Oh, wow.
She's in the like, you know, she's in the more intense anime. And I'm like, maybe take it down a couple notches. This is a schoolgirl anime. But I was really feeling it. I was like, the things I know about Mars is she's really cool and she's super fucking dramatic. She's a drama queen.
Yeah, that is not the case at all dub. She's just like looking into flames, but like they don't explain what's going on. And then she comes out and like actually her voice actress is just kind of chill. And we don't really know a whole lot about her.
You said she does sense an evil spirit and do something, and you think it's going to be Jadeite because they've just shown Jadeite, but she puts a thing on Serena. So she sensed something about Serena, which I love. And Serena, they did Serena falls down with her legs up in the air. Like, they didn't show us the upskirt, but everyone else was positioned to see the upskirt. Right. That was the closest to something pervy because the old dude was there. But everyone was there. So it was more just like they do that pervy thing every once in a while in this show, just in general.
I guess it's supposed to be embarrassing.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be like that cutesy pervy.
Yeah.
Picture me making a face.
Yeah. Cute or creepy. Cute or creepy.
Yeah. Oh, but Luna's like, oh my god, she can read the future? Maybe she's the moon princess.
Yeah, Luna doesn't say anything about her at all. Really? And then... Okay.
Do you get that confrontation with the lady about who shows up to yell at Mars?
Yes. So okay, here we go. Here's a bitch moment. So Ray attacks Serena by accident because vibes, and then
Ray's like, I get bad vibes from you.
Yeah. And then like that lady comes in and is yelling at them.
Real fast. Serena failed her vibes check.
Vibe check.
I want it to be a running thing in their relationship. Just every time she sees Serena, she's like, I sense a great evil. Bam.
Vibe check.
Serena's like, please stop doing this. We've known each other for 5 years.
I know. We've died and come back together already like 3 times. You know what? This part do you have something to say about the lady coming in? Because this next part that I was going to say is afterwards.
The reason I want to ask about the lady is I want to know what she said because I feel like it's something they would have changed.
So she just said something about, like, I guess, was her daughter missing or something? She got on the bus and she's blaming them for the bus. And Ray's like, it's just a bus that stops outside of our temple. It's not our bus.
Okay, so they did cut a little bit here because she says, my daughter hasn't come home. And she goes, your grandpa runs a 5:30 prayer every day, and the bus goes at 6, so I think he did something sketch with the prayer. And Ray's like, we've done this prayer for a really long time. It's not us. But they're basically being like, you're doing evil magic, which I was like, they're definitely going to cut that out.
Yeah, they definitely cut that out.
So I was curious what they said, but they just did the bus thing. That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they go outside.
They're gonna go get on the 6 o'clock bus. First 6 o'clock.
They're gonna go get on the bus, and they notice that all of the girls in line who have charms look kind of out of it. Or at least Serena says that they look kind of out of it, and Amy goes, "You're already naturally out of it."
Wow.
Yeah.
Shade from Ami. They didn't do that.
Yeah, Ami's a bitch in this one. A little bit.
She had a couple little, like, jokey bits that were a little more bantery, and I thought they were cute, but, like, that was pretty massive shade there.
They make it so mean in the like, in the Japanese version, it's, like, friend banter, and in American, it's, like, really bitchy. And so they're gonna get on the bus, and the door opens, and people are getting on and off. And Serena sees the bus driver and immediately just starts
who is
crying.
Definitely an evil, ominous bus driver. And I think she failed Serena's vibe check.
For sure she did.
Fine. Because I think she would have failed anyone's vibe check if they weren't clearly, like, drugged by their amulet or whatever.
Yeah.
Which, can I add, this is where the plan got more convoluted because the short version of the plan is kidnap buses full of girls. Mm-hmm. But the long version is we specifically want them to be girls that are obsessed with love because that provides more energy, and we're going to give them a shrine tag related to love, and it's going to zombify them to get on the bus, which is like kind of roundabout, but I guess it gets the job done because, again, the bus driver's super shady. No one would get on that bus if they didn't have a vibe, an amulet.
But then, and I know that this is skipping ahead, but this is probably the best moment to bring it up. It gets even more convoluted because when they get into the black hole area, all of the previous buses are also still just sitting there. So they haven't
leave
done
everyone there.
They haven't done anything.
They did say like drain all their energy and the bus glowed, but I guess they're just gonna keep draining their energy.
Oh, that didn't happen in the dub. That makes more sense.
Yeah, they did some draining of energy.
Yeah, it looked like they were just sitting there. Just like, for no
they're like,
reason.
we're just gonna gather, like, you know, we could do a bus full, but like, wouldn't it be more fun to do like 200 people at once?
Yeah, they just like, it's like a waiting area.
I mean, we've discussed before the rules about how much energy and what type of energy is enough are really variable. Like, do we need to drain one lady at the gym, or do we need to drain 200 people for 3 days on a bus?
Right, exactly. Also, one thing that I missed. Because I did write also, side note, from what I was talking about earlier, Ray's voice is way too soft. It felt weird. And then randomly, so because they cut everything about Luna saying she might be the Moon Princess, it makes no sense when she leaves her a Mars stick.
Yeah, and they didn't really explain that. But wait, okay, before we get there.
Okay.
Serena won't get on the bus because of the vibe check.
Yes, and Amy's going, don't be a chicken.
She's crying and clinging to a pole while Amy tries to get her in and Luna tries to get her in. And honestly, I'm kind of with Serena because this is like a bus of people that
they know it's going to disappear.
And they don't get on and they're like, dang it. And then the bus flies into the sky and through a portal, which was amazing. Like, there's so many moments in this episode that were just full on, like, batshit crazy.
Like, how did the police, who, by the way, I never saw anywhere in the dub, even though we saw them rushing towards the shrine. This is done in broad daylight in a city, like on a city street. You're telling me nobody sees a bus just fly off into the sky?
And you'd think they'd be watching. Like, this bus keeps disappearing. There should be cops watching the corner and being like, hey, that bus just flew away into a portal.
Right.
Also, where did the bad guys... Because they when you realize, because the other bus is there when we get there, you realize they have a new bus every time. Where are they getting all these buses?
Replicating them. I don't know.
So...
Stealing them. Yeah, lots of buses.
But yeah, the guy, that's where they do the draining. They're like, the energy of girls wishing for love is very powerful. Drain it all.
Drain it all. Okay.
But yeah, there's a little. Did you have the little scene where like Serena and Mars talk to each other, and Mars is like thinks Serena's like gonna confront her over like, I'm not making the buses evil. And Serena's like, no, I just want to be your friend. And it was really cute because it was a very Serena moment.
Oh, no. We didn't get that at all.
Why did we cut that? That part was cute.
Maybe Big Deke is worried.
Because that's when they leave the wand.
Maybe all I can think of, my brain just keeps going back to, like, she thinks Ray is hot. And she obviously blushed. And Big Deke doesn't want any gay energy.
No blushing, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, I liked both that it made sense that Mars was being kind of angry and defensive because, like, she had a lot of people jumping down her back for crazy things. And then, like, it's so Serena to be like, no, I promise, I just want to be your friend. Like,
yeah, she's
that's
so
very
cute.
Serena, my heart.
Yeah.
And it sets up later when they're going to have a moment because, like, you know.
Oh, yeah,
so,
they don't have a moment in the dub.
Well, by moment, I mean, like, she's going to fight to save Mars or whatever.
Yeah. Okay, so it goes in the black hole. They leave the stick. Ray in the dub goes, what a strange and beautiful stick. I had to write it down.
What? I don't even think she said anything. I think she just picked it up and like looked at it curiously. And that part was confusing even in the sub because they didn't show Luna leaving it and they didn't explain why Luna would leave it. And I was like, did she just find this randomly? And the last we'd heard, Luna thought she was the Moon Princess. She didn't know she was Mars, so I was very confused about that.
That is very strange.
Like, I would have expected Luna to go, like, I wonder if she's Mars. But maybe they were trying to leave it for a reveal for later.
Yeah.
But I was confused.
I don't know. It's strange. It's pretty obvious. So then, and this is where I'm like, do we cut something out? Because all of a sudden, Serena's still waiting for the next bus, but Amy isn't there with them?
Yeah, so it's the next day, but Ami is late. She hasn't shown up. And the bus is already there. And
why not explain that?
Right? Because I was gonna say, like, it wasn't confusing. They just explained it, right? I don't know why they didn't. They
just
probably cut so much that they forgot.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I loved this scene. Oh, tell me how it goes in the dub. I thought it was really cute.
Okay. Yeah. So it's kind of cute. Like, so the bus comes up again, And Serena again is like, no, I don't want to get on the bus. And she's holding onto the telephone pole. And then Luna's literally like biting onto her skirt to drag her on. And then she's like, well, at least let me be a disguise. Oh, wait, a disguise. And then she's like, turn into a flight attendant or something. And then she turns into like a really cute flight attendant. And which I don't know if it's actually a flight attendant in the sub. And then Luna is like, says something bitchy about, too bad it's not a plane. So I think we're up to like 2 Luna's a bitch.
Oh my god. See, this scene was so much cuter, and I'm mad they ruined it because it was very Serena, and I feel like it conveys a lot about Serena. Serena's crying, she won't get on. Luna's trying to drag her. I'm honestly kind of with Serena again. She's looking at the bus. Again, she sees the bus driver and has immediate bad vibes.
Yeah.
And then suddenly she's like, Luna's trying to talk her in, and she gets out, Serena's like, okay, she gets out her disguise stick, and she goes, wait, I have an idea. She gets out her disguise stick. She goes, change me into a beautiful flight attendant. And then she beams and goes, now I'm not scared.
That's so cute.
And Luna's just like, what the fuck? Luna's clearly like a little baffled. Serena goes charging onto the bus and she goes, as a flight attendant, I have a sworn duty to protect these passengers and make sure they have a safe journey. And I was like, I love that it's a flight attendant. I love that this is how Serena solved her fear. Like, she's like, I know I'm scared, but I've got a solution. As a flight attendant, I will not be scared.
Yes.
Like, this is how her brain works, and I love it. Yeah. I love it.
You know, it just goes to show you that clothing and makeup really is armor.
It is. Yeah. So is. She's like, all right, I'm going to put myself in a different headset. It's going to be great. I thought she was going to change into Sailor Moon early. I was like, what's going on here?
I thought so, too.
But this was funnier. I like the idea that she wouldn't have felt safe as Sailor Moon, but she does feel safe as a flight attendant.
Or maybe that she's got some rule about not transforming in front of the...
Also, you know what? She's not wrong. That bus did fly.
You're right. Oh my god, Serena's actually, that's a big brain move because she's really making a joke about, because it's gonna go fly.
Exactly. She's like, I'm gonna be on top of this flight here,
and the exits are this way.
It makes, remember when we were like, why'd she turn into a doctor to go like address the computer school? And it was like, because she was like, I'm here because people are sick. And it's like, I feel like she takes on the role that makes her feel confident about what she's doing, and I really like that.
And it's all about how to
like,
best serve.
I have a position of authority. Yeah. I have a duty of care. She also the one that puts her in charge of being like, because she's really good at stepping up to the line when she feels responsible for people.
Yes.
And so she puts herself in the position where she's supposed to be protecting people. And then she can do it.
I think you're right. And that makes sense with like, because I think one of the first times, I'm trying to remember that time when like Shingo was in trouble and she was like making some choices based on that because it was her brother.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I didn't see that episode. Because that was one that wasn't translated, right? Oh, that was the sweet-smelling episode.
Yeah, you're right. It was the one with the weird rabbit cats.
That they cut.
Yeah. So strange. Okay, so she's a flight attendant. They go into the
Ami
sky.
didn't make it. Ami shows up right as the bus is in. So Ami's like, no. And it was very cute.
And then for me, it cuts to Ray. She goes to confront Jed, or like she's got her vibes.
Do they cut her doing? She's meditating or doing religious stuff in front of the fire. She does a whole bunch of hand shapes and says words that I don't know. And
yes,
then the
they
fire.
Cut that.
Yeah, the fire raises up and gives her a vision of Jadeite, and then later she's like, my trusted flames told me you were evil, and it was so cool.
So we do see him in the flame, and I think they kind of treat it more like a meditation and her just like asking questions. They completely cut like any personification of the flame or whatever. I'm gonna have to go back and actually rewatch this episode because I'm really mad.
It was very cool. So she goes to confront him. Mm-hmm. What happens?
She knows that he's doing something shady.
And it goes great.
It goes very well. She's got her crows with her, and then somehow he's able to just grab her and throw her into a black hole.
Well, that's what I love. She goes to confront the bad guy, and he just chucks her through a portal. Yeah. Did not go well.
No, not at all.
And, you know, we've never seen him do this. He's never tried this strategy before, but we have seen him use portals before, because he used a portal to escape from Serena the first time she cornered him.
Now we're playing with portals or whatever they're saying.
I was like, clearly he's expanding his repertoire. He's expanding his strategy list. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, he's under pressure from big Negacorp.
And then we appear to be on the moon with all the buses, which was quite an
Yeah,
image.
what was the floor that they were on? Because when you're in the wide shot, you just see all these floating buses and it looks like you're in space. And then Serena falls out and Luna fall out of the bus onto the ground somehow. I don't know where the ground is.
It's the moon.
I guess that makes
It looked kind of like moon ground.
Maybe she just brings the moon with her to every black hole.
Oh, the moon came with Serena. I thought you meant that the bad guy brought the moon.
Well, she has the moon. I mean, spoiler alert, but Serena's the moon princess.
Could the bad guys be on the moon? Could that be where the bad guys are with their skull? We don't know where the bad guys are.
Like maybe the upside down version of the moon?
Like they've taken over the moon, the Nega moon.
Maybe. That would make sense. I forgot another Amy's a bitch moment because
What?
at the very beginning, because there's a callback to something she says at the beginning where she's like, one day I would really like to just measure the decibels of your crying and see how loud it gets, basically. And then...
What a bitch.
Yeah, and then when they fall out of the bus and Serena's with Luna says something about watching your decibels or something because she's crying again. And then Serena goes, I like my decibels where they are.
I do like that. That's a good
pretty
comeback.
funny. Yeah, and then here's another moment for Luna. So now we're up to Luna's a bitch 3 times. Here's the 4th. You can be brave when you put your mind to it.
Oh, see, this scene was actually very cute because if I'm guessing right, this is right after Ray falls through the portal, the monster grabs Ray. Actually, can we take a moment to discuss the monster?
Oh, yes.
Because she looked like she was wearing like 80s clothes. Like she had like a bodysuit and then like arm cuffs.
Ooh, I honestly, I watched it.
And then she had an overbite. It was pretty intense. I was into it.
I watched it literally right before this, and I do not recall at all which this monster looked like.
A lot of times I don't pay attention, but I had to rewatch part of it because I missed some stuff while I was taking notes, and I was like, actually, that look it's quite a look.
Yeah, I can't wait to go back and watch. I did remember what she looked like as a bus driver because I was like, she looks like Mask Femme, and I'm here for it.
Yes. No. Yeah. I noticed that too. I was like, this has strong vibes that I'm into. Like, very evil vibes, but evil. Yeah. Evil sexy.
Evil sexy. All right, so now the monster has grabbed Ray.
Yeah, the monster grabs her. Have you noticed the monsters always take someone, usually the most important person, and hold them by the throat to hold them captive? Mm-hmm. It's really common. So this time it's Ray. And Usagi's crying, and I can't remember if Luna's like, you gotta do something. And what I love is Usagi goes, I'm sick of this, but I'll do it. And she stands up and turns into Sailor Moon. And so what Luna says that's much less bitchy is, Luna's clearly, again, kind of baffled. But Luna's like, your carefree spirit and optimism are your strength. Which is basically like, I don't get how your brain works.
Right.
But it does seem to work for you.
And it is a strength, and that is really cute. Why does Luna have to be such a fucking heinous bitch?
It fits so well with the now I'm not scared. As Serena's just like, I hate it, but I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. Oh, man. Boo-doo-boo-boo. So she throws her tiara, and this is the first time we've seen it, like, expand and then tighten around the monster.
She throws the tiara right off the bat. The monster catches it. I was like, oh shit, that's the first time we've seen a monster do that.
Yeah.
And then she goes, you've fallen for my trap. Serena says this, and then it grabs the monster. And it was like, again, Serena being smart.
Yeah.
She's so fucking smart. She does these things, and you're like, that's cool.
Yeah, they cut that line.
Why did they cut that? That was such a good line, because I love the implication that she's good at what she does.
Yeah.
I guess that's why they cut it.
I think Big Deke doesn't want girls to be smart. I don't know.
They really want us to not respect Serena because she is lazy and a crybaby, and we should not respect that.
Well, I'm obviously starting to understand why I didn't like her growing up.
Yeah, because they're constantly telling us what an ass. They're constantly talking her down.
Yeah.
And they don't respect her.
That's not good for anybody's mental health. So during this moment, I I think she's let go of Ray, while she's holding Ray's Mars symbol comes out on her forehead, and Luna is shocked that she has it. And I'm like, but didn't you leave her the stick? I'm so confused.
Yeah, they definitely didn't have Luna be shocked, because Luna goes, not then, but a moment later, she says, use that wand I gave you. So clearly she knew to transform into Mars. So it would be really weird for Luna to be shocked. I actually thought it was kind of weird that nobody reacted to the Mars symbol. Like, I was expecting a reaction. Yeah. So maybe that's why they added one, because it did feel a little weird.
I did like that what happens next. Obviously, Luna's telling her to use the stick or to use the wand, and Ray goes, "You can talk?" And I was like, "Thank you!"
Yes, I love it. Why is that cat talking? Yeah. Can I say, Ray has the fucking coolest transformation animation. I did not remember this, but she does like a flame whip that turns into these spinning rings of flame around her.
Yeah.
Like, once again, she's so cool and so many levels of intensity higher than everyone else. I was really into it.
Her levels of intensity are not... She's just kind of super bitchy, I feel like, in the dub. Not, like, bigger bitch than Luna, but I feel like she's going to be, the way that they've translated some of the things that she says. But a note on her transformation, I just love that the other Sailor Senshi have boots, and she's got sensible heels.
See, I'm the reverse. I feel like the boots make more sense to me, and the heels look really out of place. They look unsensible. They look like she's going to a party.
Yeah. Well, they're a kitten heels, so they're not as tall as they could be. But you're right, like the block
don't look
heel.
like they'd stay on her foot.
No, and you certainly can't run in those.
Because I commented, I actually couldn't remember what everyone else wore on their feet. I was just like, these shoes look weird to me.
They've always looked weird to me because everybody else has shoes that make more sense. I don't remember what everybody else's shoes are. I know that Mercury and Sailor Moon have boots for sure.
Yeah. So
and I'm pretty sure most other people do too.
They're just such a classic, like a dress heel that I'm like, at least boots, whether or not they are good for battle, like in my head, they seem more battle-y and uniformy, and like high heels don't seem at all appropriate.
I don't understand why everybody else has boots and then she has heels. Especially when she's like a shrine maiden, where I'm like, that seems like the least likely person to put on a pair of heels.
Like, I actually do appreciate that they have differences in their costumes. Like, I had never really noticed that before, and I think that's cool. But, like, I wish that difference made more sense to me.
Yeah. One thing I also noticed that always kind of weirded me out was that her back bow is the same red as her skirt, and so it kind of blends in. But her front bow is purple, and everybody else's, it seems like Sailor Moon's front bow and back bow are red, and Sailor Mercury's is like the light blue, I guess. And so there's it's like a contrast. Huh. All of them have contrasting bows and skirts except for Mars, which...
That's a weird character design choice.
Yeah, because I think I used to draw it with the purple, and then at one point somebody corrected me, and I went to look it up, and I was like, oh my god, yeah.
I wonder if there's some clothing item that could be being referenced by that, though, like, you know, like a bow that matches a other type of... I don't know. I would say something, but I really don't know.
Yeah.
The other thing I want to note that I thought was cool is that, again, Ray being very cool and very much more intense than everyone else, like, Luna's like, do an attack, and Ray's like, I don't know what the fuck's going on, but I'll try it. Great mood. Yeah. And then she just blasts them with fire. Like, Ami, remember, like, Ami summons, like, smoke, and then Serena takes him out. Ray takes the bad guy out herself. Yeah. Which I really love as a character note. Ray just takes her down, and she takes her down so hard that they're like, oh no, the portal is closing from Mars's attack. And I'm like, Ray, take it down a notch.
Oh, that's why it's closing?
Yeah, well, that's what they say. Yeah, that Mars's attack destabilized the portal.
Oh, because in the dub, she destroys the demon thing, and then it just starts closing, and I think it's kind of implied that because that thing is dead, because the monster is dead now, it's just closing or something.
I mean, that makes sense to me, too, so.
Yeah. And then Tuxedo Mask pops up in the driver's seat.
Did you have Ami? Did you have Ami praying to her pen?
Yes.
We cut to Ami, who's like worried about them. She's kneeling down. She's holding her pen, her transformation pen, and she's like, looks like she's praying to it. And she's like, guys, be safe. And it generates a magic light that leads them out.
Yeah. The portal. In the dub, she's even praying to Mercury. She's like, please, by Mercury's power or something.
I'm actually shocked that they went there because that did not happen in the sub.
I guess they were trying to make it make more sense because the light from her prayers holds the hole open for them.
And then, yeah, you said it already, but my favorite moment, they're going, how are we going to get out of here? What are we going to do? There's like 3 buses here. What do we do? And there's this moment of what do we do? And then up drives the bus. Tuxedo Mask leans out the window and goes, I'll drive you. And I was like, this is my favorite thing that's ever happened ever.
It's so weird.
And Ray goes, he's so cool. And I was like, is he? Is he?
So that's
and they all drive the buses away.
I don't know if I maybe missed her saying that in the dub because it's weird because they start to have like this weird girl thing, like conflict between Serena and Ray about him. And so Serena's like eyes kind of bug out as hearts and she's like, oh my God, it's Tuxedo Mask. And Ray goes, she says something to her about like, what's your deal with him or something? Like just, you know, obviously you know him or you like him. You know, she like calls her out and...
Was that at the end of the episode or right now?
It was right now, like as they're reacting.
Okay, yeah, she just goes, he's really cool.
Oh yeah, they make it like her talking to Serena and like giving her shit for it.
And I also want to point out that the way Tuxedo Mask is driving these buses out is he's driving one bus and he's tied the other 2 buses to the back, which is not how buses work, but they also don't fly, so I'm really here for it.
Yeah.
To be fair, Sailor Moon is 14. She's too young to drive. We do need a designated driver. And it was so funny because just a little before that, we'd been like, do you think Tuxedo Mask is going to show up on the moon, like in the Negavoid? And we're like, no, how did he get here? He does. He's just here.
There.
He's driving the bus.
Wait. I just had this image. I think he snuck onto one of the buses way earlier. And then it's just been hiding in the back of the bus, like under the seat.
He's been unconscious the whole time, and he didn't wake up until the bad guy got taken out.
Like, just like waiting.
The plan. I think not even just waiting. I think he tried the plan of sneak onto a bus, and he got knocked the fuck out and drained. This did not go well for him, but now he's playing it cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I meant to do this. I'll
drive.
Yeah. It's just so
wild.
weird that he's randomly there and in the driver's seat.
They drive back. Ami's crying. She's so happy to see them. Sailor Moon hugs Ami, who is not in disguise. It's really cute. Tuxedo Mask looks on. I think he knows who she is at this point.
So Tuxedo Mask is already left. For us, he goes, well,
he leaves right after that.
Yeah,
say something?
He goes, I better get home.
That is... Can I say that I'll drive and I'd better get home have such strong dad energy? Like, I don't know how to process this.
Is that what he said in the Japanese, too? Well, I better get home.
He didn't say anything. He just vanishes later on. Like, they go to look for him and he's already gone. But
so
regardless, like, your dad's here to drive you home is...
And also I'm attracted to him.
We have a weird little, like you said, girl fight between Serena and Ray over Tuxedo Mask after he leaves. That was kind of weird vibes.
Yeah. I think this becomes a whole B plot. That
Ray really likes. I'd forgotten that, but that they both like the same guy.
Yeah, and I don't like that. I've never liked that trope.
I don't know what she says in the dub.
I don't remember.
But in the sub, it's something like she's looking at Tuxedo Mask and, Sailor Moon's doing hard eyes or whatever, and she's like, do you like him? And Sailor Moon's, do you like him too? And she's like, no, but you like him. And then she goes, sometimes feelings are one-sided. And Serena starts crying, and then Ray sticks out her tongue, and it was like kind of cute, but not really.
Yeah, she said, I really got to do a better job of writing down some of these quotes, because I don't remember what she said, but I do know it wasn't that, but it was bitchy. Yeah.
So before we do Sailor Moon Says, I can do this before or after, but I have a side plot about Ray that I thought was interesting. Some extra information I gathered.
Okay, tell me about this side plot.
Yeah. And can I say that I can tell when you're coming back because your dog turns and stares at the door.
Really?
It's really cute.
Oh, I love that.
He's like, she's coming. So we were talking about, because I think this ties into, I said I went in going like, I don't remember why I didn't like Ray. I wonder if it's going to be in there. And I will say, at least the whole beginning of the episode until the end, I was like, actually, I super like her. She seems very human. She doesn't seem aggressive except for, like, in ways that make sense, like when she's feeling cornered about whether her shrine is evil.
Yeah.
She's a little intense, but she's cool. I like her. And then they had that little bit at the end that was bickery, and I was like, that felt really out of character and weird. And I was like, that's probably the thing that makes me not like her. They set up this girl fight angle. So my brother was like, I thought that she was like Ace or something. And I was like, what's she? I was like, that's not
Is she Ace?
Well, here's the thing. So I found, or he found this thing, and it's from, someone posted it to Tumblr. Duck Winter's Night posted it to Tumblr, but they said they don't know who this is from, but it's something someone wrote. And they said, in the manga, Rei Hino, Sailor Mars, was depicted as not being interested in sex and as having a distaste for men. Not so in the original anime. In their version, Rei is very much interested in pursuing relationships with boys. Rei's arc in the manga meant a lot to me as someone who identifies as asexual. There was a chapter that focused on Rei feeling confused and insecure that everyone around her constantly talked about romance, specifically romance with boys, when she herself wasn't interested in kissing men or pursuing a sexual relationship at all. A villain took advantage of this and tried to convince her she had to kiss a guy and get into a relationship with him, even if she wasn't interested in sex or men, so she could fit in and be, quote, taken care of. Rei fought off the monster, asserting her confidence in her identity. In another story, she told her friends she didn't need a relationship and she was content with having allies who shared her purpose. The text didn't specifically say Rei was aromantic or non-heteroromantic asexual, but Rei's story is the closest I've seen to a solid exploration of the struggles of an asexual person in popular media. And then they basically say they're sad that got erased in the anime. Yeah, and I'm like, yeah. Because Rei not being interested in guys is very interesting. The asexual thing is very interesting. But also just the whole B-plot of, like, girls that fight over a guy is like, oh, it's not a good feel.
No, girls, it's played out. It's not fun. It's
girl hate.
I also just don't, I mean, maybe it's because we were asexual, but, like, I don't remember any of my girlfriends who liked the same guy getting into it, or, like, usually it's, like, there were dibs. I don't know.
Yeah, well, like, I remember someone liking a guy that I liked, but it was like, you're just supportive of your friend. There was like you said, there's sort of, like, dibs, like, the trope of, like, girls that are mean to other girls and they're still friends is just a weird vibe, and it feels so absolutely counter to what Sailor Moon's about that it's really weird that they decided to go there.
It sounds like something a man would write. Oh, I don't know how to put conflict in between these two characters. Let's make it about a boy.
Won't it be cute and fun and add some drama that they fight over this Tuxedo Mask? And I'm like, why is she being mean to Serena? It's so weird.
It's weird.
So, anyways, I thought it was really interesting that wasn't in the manga.
Yeah. And it makes sense that she is a shrine maiden. Like, if she's a priestess, you know, they honestly, I wonder if that's where most asexuals went in the past.
Yeah, I don't know almost anything about, you know, culture around shrine maidens, so I don't know if that would be a thing where you would or wouldn't be involved with. What was the Sailor Moon Says?
Oh, I thought you said there was a B plot with Rei. Or was that
that was what... I meant the B plot being, like, ongoing. They do the whole, like, Rei likes Tuxedo Mask or whatever.
Gotcha. Okay, so... Oh, wait, you gotta guess what you think it is first.
Oh, gosh.
Based off of what I
Sailor Moon Says, what lesson do we want the audience to learn? A simple moral. And you could go for, like, what only happened right at the end, which is something about, like, guys and sharing. But is it about, like, Sailor Moon says, always tell an adult where you're going before you get on a bus?
That would be good, and that would make more sense.
Okay, what'd they do?
Are you ready for this?
No.
So we saw buses disappearing. Too bad that smog can't disappear. Buses cause a lot of smog, and it pollutes the environment. Encourage your friends and family to carpool and reduce smog, and then get yourself a delicious treat. And it's ice cream, and then Serena falls while eating the ice cream, and Luna goes, okay, so she can't walk and eat at the same time.
Holy shit. First of all, it's apparently traditional that Luna just says something bitchy to close off the episode. Second of all, I love that I brought up, like, Americans don't do public transport, and they were like, buses are bad, carpool.
Buy more cars! Yeah, they might have had some other, I was, like, scrambling to write it down.
Yeah, but
because I was dying.
I love that they did go to public transport. Well, I guess they went to group transport is good, but they somehow didn't even manage it to be about taking a bus. They were like, everybody carpool. That's really weird.
Yeah, because buses
I would never have guessed that in a million years.
I never would have
My other guess
either.
was going to be something about those love tokens. Like, you don't
Yeah.
need a token to make a boy love you. Like, it's okay to just be yourself.
It was so out of nowhere. I literally screamed. I was like, what?
It's really like they hand these episodes to someone who doesn't know anything about them, and they're like, write a moral, and the person's like, this episode was about buses, because that's the title.
Yeah.
So, a moral about buses.
I think they just have it on in the background, and, like, maybe it's still in Japanese, and so or, like, they just give them the cut, and they don't bother to leave the sound on, so they don't know anything that's going on. They just see a bunch of buses.
Take a guess. They're like, there's something about buses?
I mean,
moral related to buses.
I literally saw buses disappear. You know what would be great? Is if we could make that smog disappear, too. So out of place.
So now that we've finished the episode, it is time for Sailor Moon activities.
Yay!
And I brought an activity. This is a hypothetical question. So we've talked a lot about Negacore and their business model. And so my question for you, and we can both answer, is that you are a new hire at Negacore. You're the latest monster of the week.
Ooh.
What is your monster plan for gathering energy to bring our Dark Lord / Silver Crystal back into being?
So my goal would be to target Serena directly. Or maybe I don't know this about her yet. But my immediate thought was, I'm going to make a bunch of video games super cheap and have a major sale.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
You could do the video arcade. We could get Andrew and then he'd be in peril.
Yeah, so everybody will just be like, I'm a zombie playing video games. And it'll really just be like a commentary on our game addiction in this day and age.
Yeah, how video games are bad for children.
Yeah, that would be the Sailor Says.
And they'll be like, children use a lot of energy when they're stressed about video games.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah.
I don't think I have one that good. Let's see. And I came up with this, and I still don't have a great plan. So I was thinking more like, it seems like the monsters sort of play to their strengths. Like, they're like, I'm good at buses, or I like making noises. So that's my plan.
Do you think that's what it was with that monster? She's just, who's good at buses? Or like, what's your special talent? I'm really good at buses.
You know, this is the only monster we've never seen her like do anything in particular, like what her powers were. Maybe she could fly buses. Like, no one else seemed to do that. But like,
or maybe she just had a really good outfit for it, and they were like, oh, that would be perfect.
I mean, someone walked up to her and goes, anyone ever told you you look like a sexy but evil bus driver? And she's like,
oh, that gives me an idea.
Yeah, but you know, some of them are like, I'm a bat, I make noises, so my evil plan's gonna be about noises. Like, yeah, I don't know bus driver. She's like, I'm a bus driver. That's like her. Maybe that's where she picks up money, because I don't think the Negaverse pays. Maybe she just is a bus driver. So I was like, so what am I good at? And I mean, I can't do like, you know, teaching or something. We've already had a teaching episode, but I was like, you know, my background's in bugs, insects. So I was like, somehow insects, evil insects. And I was like, I probably can't get people to just be really passionate about insects and do that. So I think I would do the other version, which is where we just use it as my in. So like, I infest people's houses with bugs and they get very anxious. And then I show up as the pest control company and I like gas them with evil powers.
Yeah.
I drain all their energy. Or the bugs living in their walls slowly drain their energy. Something like that. As I said, it's not lighthearted, but I think it could be fun.
It's pretty gross.
And then maybe I could just give an impassioned speech about bugs are actually great and you should all like bugs more. And if you liked bugs more, I wouldn't be draining your energy right now.
So really, this is your fault.
Exactly. The moral of the episode would be pay more attention to the natural world.
Yes, I agree. Do you think, speaking of, since I am a new hire at Negacorp,
You will die.
You will die, but do we have good life insurance policies for our dependents? are there good benefits? Do they have dental? Because some of us have sharp teeth.
That's true. And some of us have fur, like...
Yeah.
That one lady had an overbite, so she clearly was not getting good dental.
No. Unless that's just how her face is.
That's true.
Like,
I shouldn't judge.
Yeah.
Some people like overbites.
Well, like, maybe that's just how she naturally, like, maybe that's...
we have suggested that they're somehow getting absorbed into jadeite every time they die.
That's true.
So, how do you feel about being part of the sexy man?
I am
What personality trait will you bring to jadeite?
Bus driving.
From now on, we see that he now knows how to drive.
Honk,
like,
honk,
I
all
can
aboard.
match you, Tuxedo Mask. You can no longer get away from me by car.
But they're in traffic still, so he can't go very fast.
Oh, that would be another great plan. We harness the power of, like, rush hour anger.
Oh my god, yes, it's Japan. It's, well, America too with rush hour. Just like, oh, you know what? They should do trains next. Subway trains. And everybody trying to get on.
The subway. I just go so that you could vanish a subway car. But A, that was the plot of this episode.
Yeah.
And B, it's also a plot of the Magnus Archives. So
I think you just add a tunnel, like a Negaverse tunnel into there so that all trains now go through this extra tunnel and you suck all their energy and so then
As
they
they
arrive.
pass through the Negaverse.
Yeah.
I like that. They arrive all zoned out. It's something
Yeah.
about... Ooh.
And they think they're just tired from work.
I like that.
Oh,
I do.
man.
What is your moral of this episode or moral of this podcast episode?
My moral of this episode is trust your gut when you see, no matter how sexy mask femme the bus driver is, if she's giving you negative vibes, trust your gut and don't get on the bus.
Your moral is always do a vibe check?
Yes.
And it's fine if that means you throw curse papers into your friend's
Yes.
face every time you see them.
Yes, that is
Always
fine.
do the vibe check. I like
Always
that. Always
vibe
do
check.
a vibe check.
Yeah.
That could be the episode title.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I was gonna say my moral. Now that the real moral would be something about like don't fight with your friends over boys. That's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna say the moral is having a pair of. Oh, and the ravens at one point, by the way, attacked the bad guy and freed Mars. It was so cool. So my moral is having a pair of pet ravens and being able to talk to flames is fucking cool.
Yeah.
That's my moral.
It is fucking cool.
Be as cool as Ray.
Yeah, she's dope. I'm gonna go back today and watch the episode again, but better.
I'm gonna go back and watch the episode again, but worse.
Yeah. So next week I'll be watching the sub, and you will be watching the dub.
That's right. And we'll hopefully see more of Mars. I think it sounds like they're gonna have a girl fight, but maybe not.
Buh. It's just so tedious, these kinds of plots.
It's very exhausting.
Yeah.
I like that nightmare angle. Sounds like it's gonna be some sort of sleep dream monster.
Yeah, that sounds cool. Oh shit.
So everybody have a very nice week. I wish you a nice and stress-free week, and we'll be back next week with more therapy. Don't forget to do your vibe checks.
Yes. Again, this is therapy that is not condoned by any psychological board of psychiatry or whatever they're called.
It's condoned by me.
We are just people with no medical credentials whatsoever.
We are not therapists. We just watch anime.
Yes, exactly. Hashtag it. All right. Bye.
Bye.